Hello and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar Bey, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in to our teaching for today. We are less than 60 days away from 2026, and I believe that it's imperative that we get in a position to win. 2026 is upon us and rapidly growing, and will be here before you blink. It'll be here. And I think that it's now or never that we put ourselves in a great position to win, to determine what is our direction, our fate, what is our goals, that we will be able to move into when we get into 2026. They say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so we are winners here at the Temple of Enlightenment. We believe that winners will always win and losers will always lose. And so being in the right position, in the right place, is imperative in this time. If this is your first time listening to us, I want to welcome you. Please let us know what city, what state, what country you're listening from in the chat. Also, please hit the like button. It helps us to raise the algorithms. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. This is a very, very interesting time that we're in now. Just before the holidays, a lot of things have been going on outside of our control, within the government, within our country. And so it's only right that we get our mindsets together, our minds in order, as it is, so it is within, so shall it be without. As within, so without. As above, so below. Stating that what happens on the outside doesn't determine what happens in our lives, but it's what happens on the inside that determines what happens. And so we got to put ourselves in a position to say, I have to change. Those of you that have been following us, you know that we're strong component. We are strong in standing on the ability to go within and make the changes that we need. We understand that life is our mirror, not our master. And so I want to continue this journey. We're now on our teaching 2026. Everything we're doing now is getting us ready for 2026. 2026 will be a year of new beginnings. It will be a year where a lot of new things will be implemented. And I'll talk about this. I'm going to do the State of the Union address where I'll talk about a lot of things that I see happening in 2026. But 2026 is a number one year. You add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, and you get the number 10. You add 1 plus 0, so it's 10. But what you do is you add 1 plus 0 equals 1. What happens is in numerology, you always add the number down to the single digit, unless it's a master number. So unless it's an 11, a 22, 33. Other than that, you always take the number down to its single digit. So 2026 is a number one year. Number one has to do with new beginnings. It has to do with new starts. It has to do with new policy, new direction, new focus. It also has to do with the leaving behind the closed doors, leaving things behind. The doors that were closed, don't try to open them. The things that you left in 2025, don't try to bring them into 2026. This is a new thing. This is some new opportunities, new beginnings, new doors that will open, and new platforms and new places that it will take us into. So we got to be mindful of that. But now hear this, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, because 2026 is a number 1 year, that's the universal number. So that goes for the entire world, not just for us. But in that universal year, you have some things that are going on with you too. So, yes, the number one represents the universal number for the whole world. But regardless of that number one universal number, you still have some things that's happening that has nothing to do with that number one. And so that's why I tell all of you, make sure you get with somebody. Get with your seer, your astrologer, your spiritual advisor, so that you can tap into where you are going to be in 2026. And how will this 2026 year affect me personally? How will it affect my family? How will it affect my children? How will it affect my husband, my wife, my mother, my father? How will it affect my brothers and sisters? So we need to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to be ready. Um, I think it's imperative that we stay committed and we stay entwined into that. Now, I for one, I love this too. When we start understanding the power of numbers, numbers are very, very powerful. Um, and when you understand life, you understand that numbers are everything. Everything in life is connected to numbers. When you get ready to do something, they ask you for your social security number. They ask you for your birthday. They ask you for your telephone number. Everything in life is connected to numbers. Where you live at is a number. Your license plate is a number. Everything is a number. Ladies and gentlemen, numbers are everything. Numbers are what makes the world go around. And so the power of numbers, and this is not even what I'm supposed to be talking about today. We're going in a different direction, but I just wanted to tap on this. I guess Spirit is moving me into talk about this, but numbers are extremely powerful, and when we begin to understand the elevation and this the synchronicity of the numbers and how they affect us personally, do you not know that your name is a number? Yes, we add up your name and it comes out to a number. Do you not know that it all adds up? Everything is a number. We watch basketball, we watch sports. Everybody has a number. When they go to prison, they give them a number. Everything is connected to numbers, and so when we understand the power of this, and these are some of the things that I go over when you get a personal consultation with me. I figure out what's going on with you. Where are you at in the scheme of your life, of your destiny, of your incarnation into this life? Where are you, and where are we going? And so I just think it's imperative that you know, because if you know who you are and you have an understanding of what's going on with you, I think that you'll make better decisions. I think that you'll put yourself in a better position to win, and a lot of things will be able to change due to the amount of awareness. A lot of us are not even aware of the gifts and the power. And that's why I go so hard every Sunday, putting us into a place of awareness so that we can become elevated and that we can become aware and excel to a higher level of consciousness. Once the mind expands, it can never go back to its original position. And so we thrive on that here at the Temple of Enlightenment, that we're going to expand your mind. And as we expand the mind, we believe that it can never come back to its original place. So I'm extremely, extremely excited about that. I want to, as we get ready to get into our spiritual mind treatment, go ahead and find a quiet place, um, and get into this spiritual mind treatment that allows us to tap in with source. It allows us to go within and begin to become in a center of oneness where we block out all noise, we block out all disruption, we block out any negativity, any chaos, anything that does not benefit or enhance our lives. We block it out at this moment and we tap in. Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. There is only one source, one infinite treasury, one divine economy that never runs dry. That source is God, the all, the infinite mind, divine intelligence. That which created the universe has no shortage, no limitation, no lack. And because I am one with that source, lack cannot be my truth. Money is not outside of me, it's an extension of me. It is thought made visible. It is the shadow of consciousness. I now decree that every unconscious belief in poverty, limitation, delay, and unworthiness is dissolved, uprooted, and cast out of my energy field. I no longer carry generational scarcity. I no longer house ancestral financial fear. I no longer vibrate at the frequency of not enough. I am now aligned with the law of mental equivalent, knowing that what I am is what I attract. I am the vibration of wealth. I am the residence of abundance. I am the embodiment of divine circulation. Money hears me. Money feels me. Money recognizes me. Money finds me. Every dollar with my name on it, it's already on the way. Every opportunity ordained for me is now locating me. Every gate that once resisted me now swings open by spiritual command. I speak as one who knows their authority. Money, come. Supply, flow. Divine compensation, reveal yourself now. I accept that I am worthy. I accept that I am chosen. I accept that I am the magnet, not the beggar. This word is law. It activates the great rewrite of wealth in my life. It returns to me multiplied and cannot fail. And so it is. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again. Listen, if you're just tuning in, please let us know what city, what state that you are calling in from. Today, we're continuing, moving into 2026. I want to talk about becoming a money magnet because I believe that this is something that everybody uh, is interested in. And I think that when you hear money magnet, it sounds very fascinating. Who wouldn't want to be a money magnet where money just magnetizes to you all the time? But there is a science behind it. There's a way to get it to happen. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe we can do it. I believe that in 2026, everybody under the sound of my voice can become a money magnet. I believe that there's so many different gifts and talents that each one of you possess. There's so many, I was talking to somebody last week and very briefly, and we were talking about, I have a couple books getting ready to come out, and we were talking about money and how money chases ideas. So when people say, you know what, I need to make more money, and we talked about this last week, you don't need to make more money, you need more ideas. You don't need a second job, you need better ideas. Money chases great ideas. Anybody who's rich or successful or wealthy is they're doing that because of great ideas. They had an idea. They had a service. They had an idea to create something that would allow money to chase it. If you think about anybody right now who you know that's rich and successful, they had an idea and money chased that idea. It was a great idea. Money chases great ideas. It chases great ideas. And so what happens is when you are talking about I need money, you need great ideas. You know how many people are listening to me right now? You're sitting on $1 million ideas. There's millions of dollars already in you. But you need to know how to activate those ideas so that now money will be able to chase you. And even in that, money chasing ideas is not what we're going to be talking about today. I'm talking about becoming a money magnet where you have multiple monies coming from everywhere, not just one idea, but you have become a money magnet where you have surpassed. You're no longer looking for money. You have become money because you can only attract what you are. So in order to be a magnet, because you got to realize, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Right now, as you're listening to me, everybody listening to me under the sound of my voice, you are a magnet already. Everybody comes into this world as a magnet, but you can only magnetize what you are. So if you are in a situation right now where you're in lack, you're sick, or you are in a whole bunch of drama and disruption and discord in your life, there's something inside of you that's magnetizing that. So you have to detach yourself from that because you can only attract what you are. I can only magnetize what I am. And so today I want to talk about becoming a money magnet. I want to talk. Listen to this. Jerry says he remembers the exact day this revelation hit him. He was standing in the grocery store in the checkout line with $4.37 left in his account. He wasn't buying a steak or fresh herbs. He was buying peanut butter and bread and silently praying that the transaction would go through. In front of him stood a man in a navy tailored suit, gold watch, glistening very bright, casually buying $400 worth of groceries without flinching. Jerry says something rose in him, not envy, not jealousy, but awareness. He says, we lived on the same planet, we breathed the same air, we had access to the same God. Why was abundance effortless for him and survival a battle for me? Jerry says, it hit me like revelation lightning. He wasn't spending money, he was spending consciousness. Money was not the cause, it was the effect. Money didn't create his mindset created the money. Money is not real, consciousness is. Money is the only receipt for the thoughts you habitually deposit into your reality. He said that moment rewired my soul. He said, because wealth is not a number, it's a frequency. Money is not a pursuit, it's a response. Prosperity is not earned, it is allowed. Jerry says, I walked out of the store understanding I am not broke. I am unawakened. Jerry says, that's the day that I stopped pursuing money and started becoming the type of being money pursues. He made a declaration here that I'm going to stop pursuing money and I'm going to start becoming the type of being, Being. I love that word because in the word being is the word be, which means I'm going to be the person that I am, going to be that person from which money now pursues me. Becoming a money magnet. And I love that word to be because to be or not to be, that's the question. You only get out of life what you become. Well, Issachar, how do I become money? Remember, money chases great ideas. I want you to know the secret here today. You are an idea that money chases. Could it just be that you are unawakened? Well, it's my intention today to wake you up and allow you to step into this new awakened light. Money is not material first, it's metaphysical first. Money is not condensed belief, money is consciousness crystallized. Oh man, this is some good teaching today. If you can, hit that share button and copy the link and text it and email it to your friends. Money is your self worth printed on paper. You know, a lot of you know that I'm an astrologer. Been doing it for a long time. And what's interesting is in astrology, there's 12 houses that represent the 12 facets of your chart of your life. Well, anyway, the second house is the second house of money and self worth. And the eighth house is the house of death, taxes, you know. And what's interesting is how the self worth and the the money are connected with each other. It's really because you only can get out of life what you become. So what's your self worth? Because if your self worth is where it is now, that's where you believe you should be, because that's your self worth. But when you awaken and elevate your level of consciousness to elevate your self worth, now your ability to do things that you need to do, whatever, changes. You do not attract what you want. You only attract what you are. And that's really the secret of life, ladies and gentlemen. You're sitting right now, you're looking at your bank account, you're looking at the bills that you have, you're looking at your credit score, you're looking at all the things on your credit, you're looking at all these things that you're looking at, and you're saying to yourself, who am I? Because I can only get out of life what I am. And so if you don't like what you're seeing, you got to make the change. If you subconsciously believe money is hard to get, life agrees with you. If you subconsciously believe people like me struggle, guess what? Life will agree with you. If you subconsciously believe that sometimes that something always goes wrong in my life, guess what? Life and the experiences of life will agree with you. The universe must serve your dominant belief. Because you can say, I am money, I am a money magnet, money comes to me all the time. You can say all of that. But if you believe inwardly that money is hard to get, people like me always struggle, then what happens is you just, uh, what you're doing is what's happening is what you're saying inwardly is who you are, not what you're saying outwardly. What you say inwardly is really who you are. So what happens is life magnetizes to you. Guess what? Money's hard to get. People like me struggle all the time. Something always goes wrong because that's what you are vibrating from the inside out. Even though you're saying I am money and I money comes to me, you can say all of that, but inwardly you're not believing that. You're believing that money is hard to get, and you only get what you believe, what you are. You got to learn how to make this shift and make the shift to money serves me. Wealth is my birthright. I am vibrationally irresistible to abundance. Your external reality must rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Money is a mirror. It reflects you. It does not respond to need. It responds to identity, frequency, expectation, and command. You will never attract wealth with the identity of someone who survives. That survival instinct, that survival mentality has to leave. A poverty identity is a locked vault. Money doesn't come to those who want it, it comes to those who match it. Money doesn't come to those who want it. Everybody listening to me right now wants money. Who doesn't want more money in their account, in their bank account? Who doesn't want more money? Money will never come to those who want it. It would only come to those who match it, who become it. That's why we tell you here at the Temple of Enlightenment, your friends are a resume of what you're going to become. Guess what? If you want to make six figures a year, you need to start hanging out with people who make six figures a year. So it just goes to show you the relevance of what's happening. A poverty identity is a locked vault. Money doesn't come to those who want it. The real spiritual wealth is who must I become so that wealth feels at home in my life. You cannot bring $1 million revenue to a 10-cent self image. I believe that it's always good to have archetypes and have symbols. And we talked about this going into the theater of your mind and seeing yourself. But I believe in archetypes where one of the things I love about life is we can become whoever we want to become. And when you start realizing that you can make shifts and you can become different people, you can wear multiple hats in life, it allows you to transform and transcend and elevate your consciousness to a whole nother level. But the seven archetypes, real quickly, is the believer. Faith is your first currency. The receiver, you allow all channels. The generator, you create income containers. The alchemist, ideas become income. Remember, the alchemist is the one that takes the metal and turns it to gold, but it's the ability to transform. And so we believe here that we are alchemists, and so we believe that we can turn an idea into money. The investor, money multiplies itself. The architect, you build systems, not moments. So yes, systems are everything. Save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what systems mean. Save yourself time, energy, and money. The benefactor, your wealth blesses others. And in that, when you understand the power of the seven archetypes, you begin to look at those things and say, listen, I become those things inwardly first. So everything that we're discussing here, you can't bring in $1 million revenue with 10-cent mindset. And so I was watching a program yesterday where this is unbelievable. Somebody who had hit the Mega Millions for $400 million, within 2 years, the money was gone. But that goes to show you a person who received millions of dollars with the 10-cent self-image. They weren't able to hold it. They weren't able to maintain it because they were not it. Real quickly, let me give you the 7 laws of magnetic finance. Number 1 is identity. You aren't paid for what you do. You are paid for who you are while doing it. Let me say that again. This is law number 1 in the 7 laws of magnetic finance. Your identity. You aren't paid for what you do. You are paid for who you are while you're doing it. Number 2, expectation. Expectation is a spiritual ordering system. The wealthy expect wealth. Expectation is a powerful thing. Why? Because what happens is when you expect things, you are telling the universe that this is real and it's happening. When a woman is pregnant, they say that she's expecting, right? But what happens is while she's expecting, in the real world, everybody starts to transform into an expecting consciousness. What happens? We have the baby showers. We have stuff setting up the baby room. Why? Because we are expecting a baby. So when you are expecting money, when you are expecting a new consciousness and a new experience in life, you start getting things ready because you are expecting. Number 3, circulation. Money must move. Hoarding suffocates it. This is a principle that we have here at the Temple of Enlightenment because we believe in circulation. At the end of the teaching every week, I give you guys an opportunity to donate and sow seeds into our ministry. And we always speak into circulation, that whatever you release, we believe that it will circulate back to its original place of origin. And so what happens in that circulation means that you always are releasing. When you release money to flow, it's currency. It will come back to you, and we speak it into existence 100 times fold or better. Number 4 is mental equivalent. You can never hold more money than your self-concept can handle. We just talked about this. The woman who won the $400 million mega in 2 years, she was broke, right? You can never hold more money than your self-concept can handle. That's why I believe this. If anybody listening to me now, if you ever win the lotto, if you ever win major money like that, what I would do is tell you to go see a therapist because you need to go and get your mind together to understand that I need to make sure that my mind and everything in me is equivalent to this money because I need to be mentally equivalent to what I have. I need to match it. Number 5 is command. Money obeys authority. Speak with power, not pleading. Number 6, non-resistance. The moment you need money, you repel it. And the reason why is because anytime you say, I need money, what happens is you're telling the universe that you don't have it. And so you only get what you become. So if I'm walking in need, then I'm going to magnetize need. And so if I'm walking in already abundance, already that I have more than enough and that I have it, then what happens is it comes. You only get a life what you become. So if you say to yourself, I'm not walking in the consciousness of need, I'm going to release that. Because what happens is once you release that need, believe it or not, you'll get everything that you're supposed to get. And I always believe this, and I'm a true factor that when I say it works, the universe will always take care of you. Number 7 is alignment. Abundance flows through harmony with divine order. It flows through abundance with divine order. And when you understand the alignment and you understand the importance of that, it's nothing more beautiful than to see when your life and everything that you're doing is in alignment with each other, and it all locks in and it's flowing. It's an amazing, it is an amazing experience to experience that. We got to look at money from so many different places. You know, Reverend Ike teaches that there's 3 levels of money. That there was the physical level, uh, and then there's a spiritual level, and then there's a supernatural level of money, right? The spiritual level, and then there's a subconscious level of money. And that the physical level was the lowest amount, the lowest part of money. But yeah, when we talk about money, we got to look at it from a spiritual connotation. We got to look at it spiritually, because you are what you attract, and so we put ourselves in that position by looking at it from a spiritual connotation. But money comes 3 ways: payment for labor, return on investment, or divine compensation. Divine compensation is when wealth shows up without force, without struggle, and without logic. It is the return on spiritual work, identity shifts, inner healing, metaphysical obedience. When you elevate your consciousness, the universe is required to pay you. Every trauma you transmute must return as treasure. Every limitation you dissolve must return as liberation. Every identity you rebirth must return as income. Money mirrors your eternal account. Every thought of abundance equals a deposit. Every thought of lack equals a withdrawal. Your outer bank account is the printout of your invisible one. Your outer bank account is the printout of your invisible one. So goes to show you, as within, so without. And this is really good teaching, because when you really look at it, it's really true. Everybody right now, if you look at your bank account, how much money you have in there, you will realize the outer bank account, which is in my physical reality, is a printout of my invisible one, the one that's inwardly. And I believe that there's 4 spiritual accounts: the gratitude account, your expectation account, which you speak increase about daily, your faith account, where you visualize the money that you believe is already yours, and then your future self account. And in that, I believe that it's 10% minimum to your wealth future, which is your future account. Wealth is not built by force, it is built by repeated alignment. Some time ago, we were teaching on money mindset manifestation, And you can go back and listen to it in the archives on this channel. Um, and in that, I began to talk about stocks, and we were talking about Robinhood, and I was telling people that, hey, if you can buy stocks at $5 and $10 and $20, like, doesn't matter how much money you got at any given moment, you can buy stocks, right? All the companies that we use, what kind of car do you drive? What kind of toothpaste do you use? What kind of deodorant do you use? What kind of potato chips do you like? You know, um, all of these companies that we use their products, we can invest in them. What airlines do you fly? You can go into the stock market and buy stock into those companies, and you can begin to learn how to learn more about the companies and learn more about EFTs, just different things that you can do in that. But guess what? Just like you learn how to do everything else, remember, I can only attract what I am. So when you start becoming money, there's a certain kind of desire and an appetite that comes along with that. I don't have to force anybody on here to learn about money and to want to learn about money and want to grow and how to open up a brokerage account and which brokerage account should I use. And we can mention it and we can say these are the things that you should do. But when you start becoming money and we start becoming a money magnet, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Those things should automatically be a desire for you. Why? Because you are becoming money. How could you not go to those things and allow and have a desire for those things if you are becoming a money magnet? In becoming a money magnet, I gotta say to myself, wait a minute, you know what? It's better to work smarter than harder. So, you know what? This money that I'm saving in my bank account that's giving me point zero whatever interest rate, I could put it in a high yield account that may give me 5%, and that's good. But you know what? I also could invest this stuff now. Maybe get some EFT, some index funds. Maybe I can start running some options. Maybe I can look at some, just different varieties of maybe buying dividend stocks or, just looking at everything that's happening. I'm seeing that there's many different things going on in the government. How could I use that to my advantage? With all of the things going on with the tariffs and all these things, and how could I use that to elevate and really put my money to work for me? Because you got to realize that if I'm going to become a money magnet, I have to become money, and money is currency. It's designed to flow. Money is currency. It's designed to flow. And so you start looking at, well, how could I start buying assets, things that are assets? I want assets over liabilities, right? So you start thinking differently. You start looking at everything as money. Everything you look at, it's like you see money. You see money in stuff that people can't even see money in. Why? Because you are what you become. Once you become money, you can't see nothing else but money. You see money in ways that people would not even believe that you could make money because you just see money everywhere. And you talk to somebody and have a conversation, and you guys are sitting down talking about bagels and ice cream and cookies. And in the conversation, you can see money. You can see a way how to make money out of that conversation. You can see you're sitting there watching TV and watching a movie, and in the movie, you see how to make money with the things that are going on because you are who you become. And the more that you become money, the more you start operating and learning the language of money. You start operating and learning the mindset and the thought of how money operates. And you start opening yourself up to receive money in many different multiple ways. Yes, I can start a business. Yes, I can write a book. Yes, I can create a course. Yes, I can become a content creator. I can do things on YouTube. Yes, I can open and start my own podcast. Yes, I can invest in stocks. Yes, I can get into real estate. There's so many different ways. So when you become money, you now see money everywhere you turn around. You see money in so many different multiples. But that's because you're constantly learning. You're constantly growing. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. When your consciousness rise and you become money, you start hanging around people who have money and who are money too. And so, like I said, your friends are a resume of what you're going to become. So right now, somebody says to me, well, man, all this stuff sounds good. If somebody came to me right now and said, hey, man, what should I do to start elevating my money consciousness? I would tell them, I would say, hey, listen, how much money do you want to make? I said, well, I'd like to make six figures, $200,000 a year or so. I said, well, you need to find the people who make that kind of money and start hanging around them. Start hanging around people that make $200,000 a year. You want to be a millionaire? Start hanging around people who make $1 million. Because what happens is you start to learn their consciousness, how they talk, how they move, how they operate, how they walk, how they think. It starts getting, and we know that if you hang around drug dealers and people in the street, you end up in jail, you end up dead, right? If you hang around the wrong crowd. What happens if I hang around millionaires? What happens if I hang around billionaires? It's the same thing. The life doesn't know the good or the bad. Life just knows that you can only attract what you are. You want to hang out with guys who runs the street and get in trouble all the time, then you become trouble and you magnetize trouble. But what happens if I start hanging around people who make money, millionaires, and people who make $500,000 a year? All of a sudden, my consciousness changed. My thoughts change because I'm starting to see things that I never saw before. I'm starting to listen to how these guys talk, and I'm listening to, hey, wait a minute, these guys are just like me. They got problems like I got, but they are much wealthier than me. Let me get around them and see what's going on. Because I need to make sure that I can pull my consciousness up, expand my level of consciousness so that now I can start making $500,000 a year and I can start becoming a millionaire and things will expand. One of the things that I believe in and people think is crazy, I always tell you guys every week, I love speaking out loud, speaking into the universe. I believe that words are very powerful. I believe that your words, the Bible says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it will uh, will eat the fruit thereof. And what is basically saying that if you realize the power that you have in your tongue, and you realize that and you use it effectively, you will love the fruit that you will receive, the reward of operating out of that power. But the Bible also says that when you speak into the universe and when you speak it out into the atmosphere, that your words will not come back to you void, but they will do that which you sent it to do. So that means that when I speak things into the universe, I'm speaking them into an expectation that it's going to happen just the way that I said it's going to happen. Speak to your bank account and say stuff like, "You will never be this low again." Give somebody give somebody something anonymously. Every time you get paid, give somebody a couple dollars and say, "Hey, man, this is for you." And then also you say something like, "Everything I desire is already desiring me." So that's another thing too. Everybody sitting here wants more money, right? You don't realize that the money that we want and that we want to have is already waiting to get to us. The problem is we're the ones blocking it because we can only get what we become, and we're not money yet. So the money that we want, that money also wants us too. Everything you're seeking is also seeking you. But once you become it, it's no longer seeking you because you only get what you want. When Denzel was playing in Malcolm X, he's an actor. Spike Lee came to him and said, look, I need you to portray this guy named Malcolm X. Denzel Washington is going to act like Malcolm X. And what happens is he studied, he learned the role, he did his research, and when he stepped into that role of becoming Malcolm X, even though we thought he was acting, man, he stepped into the role so good, we thought he was Malcolm X. And that's the same thing. When you step into that role of becoming money, you're stepping into the role so good that now the universe says, wow, this person is money. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, the floodgates will begin to open. Listen, I want to put down this mandate. No negative money speech for the next 90 days. No negative money speech for the next 90 days. No, no negative, no negative. I don't want no negative money speech. Everything about money is positive. I am a living magnet of wealth. Money responds to my consciousness. Wealth is attracted to my vibration. My wallet is a portal of abundance. I receive without guilt. I circulate without fear. Money is my servant. Every dollar with my name on it finds me. My income, my ideas are income. My presence is prosperity. Everything I touch becomes profitable. Wealth is my divine identity. God funds my purpose. I am financially irresistible. I prosper in all economics. My wealth is inevitable. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's imperative. Now, listen to me. It's imperative of this. Everybody listening to me, we're not the same. Everybody's different. And in that, I'm going to go back and teach this. But if you go back and listen to the Money Mindset Manifestation series that we did, I talked about the wealth codes. And we talked about how to find your wealth codes and how to use them. But I'm going to be talking more about the wealth codes. Maybe I'll bring them back for next week. But I want to talk about the wealth codes because as we get ready to move into 2026, everybody needs to start operating with their wealth codes. What happens is we'll go through and show you how to find your wealth code because everybody's different. That's why you need to have a spiritual advisor. You need to have somebody in your life that can help you to, first of all, find out who you are, find out why you are the way that you're wired with your gifts, your talents, and how and what is my goal or my destiny in this incarnation. And so when you learn all of those things and become awakened to it, because you're going to be awakened to it, now you can utilize that to become the money magnet that you need to be. Because I have to become money. Now remember, we're not chasing money, we're not going after money, but we are becoming money. And when you become money, you become conscious currency. Your consciousness is currency. Everything is currency. Everything begins to flow. Streams begin to open up. And you begin to see things in a whole different perspective because now you have a different desire. Because see, there's a lot of things right now that we can say that many of you don't know about stocks, about real estate. There's all different kind of ways buying tax deeds. There's so many ways to make money, right? So when you start entrepreneurship, all these different ways, but once you start putting your your consciousness forward to say, I want to become a money magnet, now all of these opportunities and different things will come to you. And remember, money chases ideas. Your ideas is what gives you the income. Not 3 jobs, not 2 jobs, not 5 jobs. Your ideas is what gives you income. We talked about the woman last week who was working a regular job, 9 to 5. She wanted to make 6 figures. She's not going to make 6 figures by working 2 jobs. And the job that she's on now, her manager and her supervisor both don't make $100,000 a year. So these 2 people who are her managers, who are her superiors, are not even making 100,000, 6 figures a year. There's no way that she's going to be able to get promoted to make that kind of money. So what happens is this woman who wants to make 6 figures a year has to now think about, what ideas can I now manifest so that now I can elevate myself to 6 figures a year. She didn't have a money problem. She had an idea problem. And when you understand the idea of money and ideas and ideas and money and ideas and money and how they correlate with each other, you'll really see how things really manifest and really move into that opportunity. Money always chases great ideas. It always chases ideas. How many ideas do you have? Everybody listening to me right now, you're a millionaire already because you have the ideas in you. You just have to awaken to realize that, wait a minute, he's right. I have so many ideas inside of me, but I've never thought about the fact that money is ideas. You be thinking something that you thought about 20 years ago, and then you see the idea formulated and magnified on TV, and you said, man, I thought that's the same idea I had 20 years ago. Ideas chase money, ladies and gentlemen. Universal consciousness. Once you become a money magnet, you no longer chase. Wealth arrives to you. Opportunities pursue you. You become recession proof. Money feels natural, not stressful. Abundance becomes normal. Your nervous system stabilizes in prosperity. You receive without shame. Wealth becomes identity rather than effort. You wanna be able to change your consciousness. Some of you may have to go back and listen to this again, but when you listen to this, I want you to go back and listen to this and write stuff down. Write down the fact that, what does it mean to be a money magnet? To mean that money always comes to you, multiple sources, multiple ways of income always comes to you. And if that in fact is true, how does that happen? What does that look like? And when you start to meditate on that, when you start to really uh, get into your consciousness level of thinking and meditating and believing on that, you start speaking stuff like, I am no longer a seeker of money. I am the source of money. Money rises to meet me. Supply bends to obey me. Every dollar that belongs to my destiny is already mine. My consciousness is a magnet. My identity is the vault. My belief is the command. I now step into the reality where money finds me, money funds me, and money flows to me forever. This is my word. This is my wealth. This is my law. And so it is. Listen, one of the things I realized is this, ladies and gentlemen: money never left the earth. It never left the earth. So the money from 1929 and 1919 is still on earth. You know, all that money from the 1800s is still on Earth. So if money never left the Earth, that means the money is here. That means that now I just need to get myself in a position to become a money magnet, because money never leaves the Earth. Many people are in the grave right now, but money's still here. Money never left. So I don't believe there's a shortage of money. I just believe that I need to put myself in a position to get the money. And the only way that I can get the money is by becoming money, learning the laws of money, learning the mindset of money, learning the feeling, the operation, the laws of money, learning how to speak money, walk money, so that can become a money magnet, because money never leaves the world. All the Rockefellers, all the J.P. Morgans, all of them. What was J.P. Morgan was the one that was on the Titanic. He's gone. Money is still here. So money never leaves the earth, which means that money is here. We just have to get in a position to get that money to us. I listen to, I love to hear the stories of Shaquille O'Neal and Magic Johnson about how they own all these companies. And he owns all these Five Guy restaurants and Starbucks, and he owns all of these different companies. Money chases ideas, ladies and gentlemen. And he's doing the Papa John's now. He's a part owner of Papa John's, Shaquille O'Neal. Money chases ideas. Magic Johnson is the part owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. He's the part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who just won the World Series. Uh, Money chases great ideas. He's part owner of the Washington Commanders. So this is a guy who's invested and gotten incorporated with so many different things. So now he's elevated to do so many things. We listen to Rihanna, right? She's the Fenty makeup. She just became the first black woman that I know of to make $2 billion in an empire. She had an idea about makeup and stuff that girls and women like to wear, and she put it together in a company, and now it's worth $2 billion. Money chases ideas. What ideas do you have, ladies and gentlemen? I want to thank you for tuning in. Please, if this message has been a blessing to you, please hit the share button. Go ahead and copy the link, email it, text it to your friends. Tell them, man, listen, we got to become money magnets for 2026. This guy, Issachar Bey, is on fire. Listen, if you enjoyed this broadcast, if you enjoyed this teaching, and you would like to donate and say, hey, brother, you know what, man, you really dropping some hard, good science, some knowledge out here. You know what I'm saying? You need to be paying for this kind of stuff, but you got it right available for everybody on YouTube. We want to be a blessing to you. I just want you to know there's 4 ways that you can give. The first way is going to be $, our Cash App, $TOESC. That's our Cash App. All the ways to give are also in the bottom of the description. The other way that you can give, and so it's going to be going to be PayPal and Zelle. PayPal and Zelle are going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. Once again, that's going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. Those 2 ways are going to be PayPal and Zelle. And then also the last way to give is going to be Venmo. Venmo is going to be Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY at gmail.com. Those are the 4 ways that you can give. We are forever grateful for all of your donations. It helps us to market. It helps us to get our name out there, to get visibility. And so we want to thank all of you for your support. Once again, if you haven't done so, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We're here every week, same time, same place. I want to thank all of you for your understanding and your commitment to us. Listen, um, your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.